Welcome to Supernatural Scotland, the podcast. I'm your host, Mark Smith, born and bred in Scotland. Please follow the Facebook page and check out my other episodes. Scotland has a dark and bloody history, which you would be forgiven for not believing when you look at the beautiful countryside and the impressive architecture, but believe me, it's true. And due to its dark and bloody past, is one of the most haunted countries in the world. This week I'm kicking off with the A75 Kinmount Straight. It is claimed to be the most haunted highway in Scotland. The A75 passes through Dumfriesshire and has a lot of hauntings. Back in 1957, a lorry driver ran into a couple walking across the road. But when the shocked driver jumped out of his lorry to investigate, the bodies had vanished into thin air. In 1962, Derek and Norman Ferguson were driving along when a large hen flew towards the windscreen before vanishing. Then they were approached by an old lady waving her arms at the car, again vanishing. She was then followed by a screaming man with long hair, large cats, wild dogs, goats, more hens, and other strange creatures who all vanished. The temperature outside dropped significantly, and they stopped the car. When the car came to a stop, the car began to shake back and forward like a group of people were rocking it back and forth. When Derek got out of the car, the rocking stopped. Finally, when Derek got back into the car, they seen a furniture van come towards them, but then it disappeared. In the 70s, a group of women saw another strange-looking creature on the Kinmount Straight. This makes you think of a shapeshifter, like one of our previous podcasts. Lorry drivers have claimed to see groups of people on the road, including people pulling hand carts, reminding them of medieval civilians. Over the years, there have been many sightings or strange and terrifying things on the straight. This includes a couple driving on the A75 near Annan. They saw someone on the road. It was a middle-aged man wearing a Haitian sack folded over his head, and his hands were outstretched towards the car with a rag in his hand. They were driving around 60 miles an hour, and they thought they had hit the man, but you guessed it, he vanished into thin air. So when you're on the Kinmount Straight, keep your eyes out for some strange things or ghostly apparitions. If you have seen something on the straight, I would love to hear about it. Send me a message on the Facebook page and tell me your story. Our second location today is Stirling Castle. Stirling Castle is one of the largest and historically important castles in Scotland. Parts of the castle date back to the 15th century. The castle is surrounded by steep cliffs on three sides, making it a great defensive position. The castle has been used as a royal residence and has been the crowning castle for many Scottish kings and queens, including Mary, Queen of Scots. Stirling Castle has also seen its fair share of sieges over the years, including one by Bonnie Prince Charlie. He was unsuccessful in his attempt to take the castle. It is now a tourist attraction, and this is managed by Historic Environment Scotland. So if you are visiting, you should take some time to visit Stirling and the castle. And surprise, surprise, another castle with a lady haunting it. This time is a ghost of the Green Lady. One night, a chef was preparing a meal for visiting soldiers when she appeared behind him. He felt he was being watched and turned to see the ghost of the Green Lady watching him. He then fainted and she disappeared into thin air. The ghost normally appears as a bad omen. She has been known to appear before fires and other accidents in the castle. In the early 1800s, a sentry was on his way to start his guard duty when he found the body of another guard. The guardsman was dead. He is described as having a wide open mouth and a look of terror on his face. Over the decades, it was believed the dead guard haunted the area, and this led to the guard duty being halted and the battlements dismantled, leaving an angled roof. In the room below, people still report hearing strange noises and footsteps along the ceiling, as if the guardsman was still completing his guard duties. There have also been reports of a ghost dressed in a kilt. This could normally be put down to actors or staff within the castle. However, he was often seen turning a corner and vanishing through a doorway. The doorway is now bricked up and had been for decades. There are two other ladies who haunt the castle and surrounding areas. One is the Pink Lady. She has been seen leaving the castle and wandering towards the neighbouring church and cemetery. It's believed her partner may have died in a battle or a siege of the castle. She now roams the grounds looking for him. The castle is also said to be haunted by a Black Lady, and she haunts the back walk. Nothing is really known about the Black Lady. It is claimed you may feel a foreboding atmosphere when walking this path at night. So, watch out for the Black Lady. I visited Stirling Castle for a Christmas market a few years ago, and it was truly a magical place to visit at night time. I would recommend the Christmas market, which is on every year. On the other hand, you better keep an eye out for the ladies of Stirling Castle. Now for our creature feature. The first story is less of a creature and more of a haunting or echo of tragedy, but it would be pretty terrifying to see. Our story centres around a ghost train which crosses the Firth of Tay. This is in the east of Scotland near Dundee. The River Tay, which is the longest river in Scotland, runs through the Firth of Tay. The first rail bridge opened on the 26th of September 1877, after taking 6 years to complete. This was an impressive accomplishment and was visited by Queen Victoria and Ulysses Grant, the 18th President of the United States of America. On the evening of the 28th of December 1879, a terrible tragedy took place. This was one of the biggest train disasters in Scottish history. A storm hit the area, causing unknown damage to the bridge. A train from Edinburgh was crossing the bridge, and when it reached the middle, the bridge collapsed. Around 75 passengers were riding the train that night. No one survived, and around 46 bodies were recovered from the water. It was then reported the bridge was flawed and could not withstand the strong winds. The designer of the bridge was blamed, and on the 30th of October 1880 he died at the age of 58 with his career in tatters. To this day you can still see the old pillars in the water. A second bridge was built near the original and opened in 1887, and this bridge survived the test of time and the storms. It's claimed on the anniversary of the disaster, you can sometimes see a ghost train reenacting the terrible night. The screams of the doomed passengers can be heard as they plunge into the icy waters of the river. Our second creature is the Benea. This creature is a female spirit, and she is regarded as an omen of death. She is normally seen as an old haggard woman washing clothes in the stream. But as you get closer, the clothes are covered in something red. The old woman is washing bloodstains from the clothes in the water. She can be seen wandering near streams or ponds. The clothes she is washing are of those about to die, so you should pay attention to figure out who they belong to. If you are crazy enough to get close, you may not live to regret it. And that is the end of this episode. Thank you for listening to all 5 episodes so far. That is all for now. Goodbye.